thing. I'll just read. Shoot. Our next item is Cyclovia, which is coming up on, I think, the 30th of October. And the Living Streets Alliance came and invited us to participate. And I just wanted to throw that back out there. Are there any ideas we have ways to participate in Cyclovia and ways to invite people? Welcome back, Lisa. Sorry, we got kicked off there.
So I know that the Dunbar Foresters are trying to organize handing out leaflets to cyclists on Main Avenue, so that they might take a detour and bike through the neighborhood. And so that's one activity that's trying
Do you
to,
want
it's
to
starting
put
to organize.
stuff on it so people know to get refreshments there?
Yeah, possibly. You could do know that.
I don't know anything.
Okay.
So
So
you
people-
tell me what maybe I can do, I'll be glad to help.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Sky and Lisa. We're just talking about ideas for Cyclovia. And Nancy, you said with more information, maybe you would put a stop here that you could invite people for refreshments or something like that. Lovely. I think
Because
that'd
we're
be-
out of that route that I saw.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But I think we could probably add a star to the map if people wanted to come check out the space. Mia Michelle mentioned a video that City High did about the history of Dunbar. I don't know if there's a way to incorporate that into this particular thing. Maybe a bike ride is not the time to watch a video, but it would be cool to have, I don't know, some bits of Dunbar history that could be incorporated too, that people might find interesting. Yeah, go ahead, Karen. You wanna come over?
So as someone who was once the volunteer coordinator for Cyclovia, it's really, if you haven't been, it's super busy, it's awesome, it's totally great, and like thousands upon thousands of people. So when you talk about put another star on the map, or like, hey, we want all these people to come through, you also need to think about what that means to have thousands of people that are not expecting cars. But there will be cars because our roads are not going to be blocked off. Main will be blocked off. The route is blocked off. But if you're suggesting to thousands of bicyclists, some more advanced and savvy than others, there is potential, like, it's not just like, oh, we'll get 50 people, like thousands of people do this thing. So I just want to put that out there. I love Cyclovia. It's like my favorite event, but watch what you are asking for. And I don't think, like, the map is, I don't think they're changing the map, just FYI. Like, it's kind of, it's pretty set at this point. Right.
Yeah, the suggestion, I think what Brad was trying to do was just have an optional detour for people who stop and get a flyer. Yeah. You wouldn't change the route. And it would probably be some fraction of the total. Total event.
Any other notes on Cyclovia? All right,
What's the weekend again?
it's
Sunday the 30th.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Gotcha.
I think the video, I can incorporate the video into it.
You like that idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it should just be like a little tent. You know, we could have a running.
Or have it on a screen, like on the side of the building.
Uh-huh.
On Main.
I love that idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
Clay's house is right there on Main.
Yeah.
You might support that. You could play accordion along with it. You probably will. All right, I'll talk to Clay about it. I don't think we have to vote on that. There is a proposal from the Dunbar Pavilion. They would like to do a fundraiser. They were hoping to do it in November, but I think they're gonna push that back maybe to later in the year or in the next year. The idea is to close down Main and give people a free crossing from the Dunbar Pavilion over to Esteban Park to help re-energize that park and invite the community back to it and have a big cookout out there. And so I personally wrote a letter in support of that, not as the president of this organization, just as a resident. And I would invite us as an organization to also write a letter in support of that idea. The date isn't set yet, but we could just write a general letter that I would send to them and to the mayor and council. Any discussion on that? Yeah. Quite all right.
I guess I would just say that, whenever the date is, that just, so there are folks, I mean, you live there. There are folks that cross between here and they have their place of business, or they're living on the other side of Maine, so like where the Splinter Collective is, so my husband has a shop there. So he has to get across, and he needs some way to get across with all of his piano fixing tools in his car. So I guess just trying to, before writing the letter of support, I would like to see that someone, whether it's us, but probably the Dunbar Coalition, has approached folks that live along there and or businesses that are there to say, how can you get out? Like, okay, this is gonna be closed from 10 to 2. And if you have to get to your shop or your place of work, like, how are you getting there? I would like to. Well, I think ambulance stuff, that just, but I would like to see that in place before we just wrote a generic, yep, we are totally in support of this. I like the idea. I like the idea of that being a big block party, like in there, just like Ciclovia, but I would like to see that happen.
Any other points on that proposal? All right. Can I amend that motion or proposal to say that I could write a letter once Dunbar has the Dunbar Pavilion has satisfied that condition, that they've met with business owners around there?
I'll
Yeah.
second that motion.
Okay. Seconded by Damian. So the motion one more time is that the Dunbar Spring Neighborhood Association will write a letter in support of the Dunbar Pavilion in their ambition to close down Maine at some point for a fundraiser on a weekend. And the precondition for writing that letter would be that they will speak with the businesses and residents that will be blocked off from access, especially on my street on Second Avenue. And also probably Originate, and make sure that they will have ways to access their businesses that day.
You want the approval, right?
What, could,
If you're gonna require, or do you want agreement in writing by these businesses?
oh,
I guess just like even if, I mean, even if they were to just put a postcard, so like, let's say the people aren't home, I definitely flyer places or people aren't home.
Yeah.
But even if they were to give a postcard that says, if this is a problem for you, let us know, and then they could like, like, hey, we flyered these places. We didn't get any calls, we didn't get any emails, or we heard from 5 people and we're gonna. I think that's good enough. I don't think trying to track down.
I'm just used to people saying I never got it.
mhm.
I think it's more, like, it sounds like it's not it's trying to be friendly and proactive about it, so that it can be one, but
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so does anybody need to clarify the motion, or I think it doesn't need to be amended again, is what Karen said? Okay, all those in favor, say aye and raise your hand. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 is Sky. And Lisa is 10. All those opposed? Okay, 0, and any abstentions? Also 0. Fantastic, thanks. We have done so much business this meeting. Give yourself a little shoulder squeeze. Nice work, everybody. In a stretch. We are past the business. Any announcements? Any announcements at all? Oh, I have one. Okay. Who else has an announcement? Come over to the mic. Hi, I don't know your name, actually.
Yeah, so I see you here. I'll take it.
Yeah, come over to the mic, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric. I am the Community Engagement Advisor for Mayor Romero. I just got hired this past June, so happy to meet all of you for the first time. Part of the reason why I'm here is because the mayor would like to have eyes and ears per se down in a lot of the neighborhood associations in the communities. So part of my job is to listen to a lot of the concerns that you guys have as a community and kind of work with the mayor and take it into account whenever she talks policy or makes policy. But the other reason why I'm here is just to be an extra resource. You guys already have the wonderful Ward 1 office and District 5, so you have plenty of that. But if there's anything else that you'd ever like to communicate to the mayor's office, please feel free to actually give you guys my email me, or even just contact the mayor's office and ask for my name. I don't have an official phone or card yet. Eric Garcia. And I can give you my email right now if you guys want to write it down. It is ERYCK dot Garcia, GARCIA, at TucsonAZ.gov.
Say that one more time.
ERYCK dot Garcia at TucsonAZ.gov. Also, this is a really cool place. The first time I've ever been here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Eric. Go ahead.
Why can't?
Don't shoot nothing.
Downtown Links. You thought it was gonna be finished summer 2023. That's what we were told all the time, summer 2023. It's a lie. It's summer 2024. So I happen to, I don't even know why, but the RTA sends out newsletters and I hate the RTA, so I never read them, but this time I did. There's an article about Downtown Links. I'm like, oh, I'm curious what they're saying about this fabulous road project. And so it said finished in summer 2024. And then I'm like, that's the first I've ever heard of it. So then I went back to the Downtown Links website to see what they said, which was mid 2023, which is what we've been told all along. So I emailed my contacts at Caneen, who were like the go-to people to ask questions. And they heard back from the guy from transportation that's in charge of the project that said, yep, summer 2024, as if everyone should just know this information. And I suggested maybe they want to share that information with the public. And maybe we want to ask them to come and talk about it, or it'll just give us a headache. They said it's supply chain issues, of course, with everything, supply chain issues. All along, and Sky, I know you're going to agree, we kept saying there's no way they can do all of the things that they say that they're going to do in the time that they're telling us they're going to do it. We knew that, just like we also knew that they would run out of budget and they were not going to be able to do all of the things that were promised to us. And what a surprise, they ran out of budget and we're not getting all of the things. So same thing. So we're not light at the end of the tunnel. We're in the middle of the tunnel right now. So FYI.
So I have a written contract with Downtown Links with a guarantee. I'm serious that they are done in summer 2023 because they made me lease them property behind here for their roadway. And that lease, thank you, Karen. That lease expired. So now that I know this, I'm gonna get a different set of excuses than the neighborhood's gonna get because they need me. And so I'll report back. And thank you for that information because that is a violation of my contract.
I have a message. I didn't read it earlier and I'm sorry about that. This is from Lisa, who wanted to speak about the fundraiser. So let me read that now. It will be a collaboration with this is the Dunbar Pavilion fundraising. It will be a collaboration with the Kings of Cooking. They will feature a cook-off against the Buffalo Soldiers and TUSD Amphi Student Services. They will be providing career and college readiness programming and other youth programming inside of Dunbar. And it's all designed as a Dunbar fundraiser. Families can pay $200 for a family tent with extras like family t-shirts, family banners, etc. Basically, a big, huge Black family reunion that spans Dunbar across Maine and Esteban into Esteban Park with DJs. Where'd it go? Just a moment. Dozens of tables, community orgs, and info and resources, and small tables with vendors selling foods, like a mini street fair. We have a few more community partners and Ward 1 is excited, but I have to convince Ward 1 to block the street to make it work so we can use the park. We'll use Davis for additional parking, and we're going to try and use the big dirt lot north of Davis for even more parking. Everyone is welcome. And also, I'll bring that up, Karen. I don't know what that means, but maybe about the downtown links. And also asking about downtown links, Lisa says, hello, El, thanks to Eric. And do we still have a deck park? I think the answer is, I think no to the deck park.
May 24.
There's still gonna be a bicycle bridge, but I think the deck over the street is not a part of it
But they
anymore.
have to build the deck over the roadway.
No, that's that meeting that we have, like, the fans, stuff, and people walking around, they're not. I'll chain myself to something.
I think we still have the park with the piano phone in it. That's true. It's a much scaled back park from the original design.
But is there's a bike and pedestrian path?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, any other announcements? Fantastic. It's 7:54. I like to finish within the hour because my brain goes mush at 8 o'clock like a pumpkin. My brain turns into a pumpkin. But we still have, does anybody have any of the reports from the field that we like to do? I'm just gonna open it up to any of those. Yeah, we'll go with Maxie and then Karen. Oh, do you want to come on over to the mic? So, what I mean is, there are a bunch of orgs that we're also involved in, yeah, in the outside world, and I have a list of them here. But if you have an announcement that you want to share, this would be a fun
might
time. Yeah,
be more of just an announcement.
Yeah.
So just a very brief, there may be a developer who's trying to come in and build something that we might not want on the A Mountain landfill, which is a huge open space by Mission Garden and a really important wildlife corridor from the Tucson Mountains to the Santa Cruz River. So I just want us all to start thinking about how we feel about that. And I will probably be talking about it more in the future. So if we want to get involved as a neighborhood, but involved in some of the organizing, if that were to be happening. Okay.
It's on public land.
It's owned, the land, the A Mountain landfill is currently owned by Rio Nuevo. So, no. But it's, yeah, a big, open, beautiful space in this moment.
thanks,
Thank
Maxine. Okay, Karen, do you have some notes for us?
Just a quick.
Okay,
To what we were talking about before, with dinner. So the situation that we're having at Esteban, the Armory Park is having at Armory Park. So like, you know, it's been mentioned. So one of the things that happened was that the housing department reached out to the folks who were living in Armory Park. And 90% were not interested in the housing that was being presented. So whether that means that the barriers are still too high, well, I don't know what that means. Like, I wasn't part of that conversation, but that's just something we can offer, but that doesn't mean that the people will take. The other thing is that police did crack down on drug activity, and there were 50 arrests that were made there. For drug activity, not for people sleeping there, but for drug activity. So that has slowed some of that down. The other thing is that there were also, the Ronstadt Center was also kind of targeted for drug use. So there were 80 arrests there. What that means is that people are coming into your downtown library and using drugs in the bathroom. So just FYI, when we talk about, I'm not saying that I want drugs in Esteban Park, but when it's gonna go places. So if we do have a police crackdown there and you know, when folks are arrested, they're gonna pop up somewhere else and so again, it's the bigger problem. It's not just like oh, we can just do this thing, but I just want you to do it. Okay.
With the train, I'd like to call this meeting to a close. Thanks, everybody. Good night, all. Thank you, Nicholas. Was that? No, I'll take care of it. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking notes.